The Caribbean Diaspora Weekly South Florida edition is presented by Caribcast, live Caribbean TV anywhere, and by Jamaicans.com. Brought to you in part by Golson Spine Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, with locations in Pembroke Pines, Plantation, and North Lauderdale. Call 866-GOLDSON. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Hi, I'm Khalib Thompson, and this is the Caribbean Diaspora Weekly South Florida edition, opening a window into our Caribbean American world. On today's show, Glenn Blakk is out and about at the annual Kiwanis White Party fundraiser. Chef Irie is cooking Caribbean with a French spin on a traditional Jamaican comfort food. And we hear from 4 stalwarts of the business community about making it as an entrepreneur in the Caribbean diaspora. Let's get started with Glenn Blakk.
Hi there. White phone, white jacket, white shirt, white pants. It must be an all-white party.
Kiwanis is an international voluntary service organization. And what we do is cater for children or senior citizens.
We party with a purpose. This is our 4th annual all-white party. It's a big hit with the community. The proceeds from it goes straight to helping our humanitarian mission to the Caribbean. In June of next year, we'll be doing a trip to Jamaica. We'll be taking down about 4 doctors, 5 dentists, and about 25 nurses and other health professionals.
One more question I'd like to ask, and I think a lot of people out there would like to know, do you guys plan on bringing LeBron James back to the Miami Heat?
LeBron, we brought him here, we gave him 2 championships. I think that was enough.
I am the first Caribbean American person who will be sitting in the seat as governor of the Florida District of Kiwanis International.
She's the boss. She is the boss here.
The real tenet is service to the children. But of course we do the elderly, the community, just the need in general. Wherever there's a need, we are there.
The camaraderie, the fellowship is awesome. We work hard and we play hard.
Christmas in July, tell us about that.
In Broward County, in the school system alone, was over 2,500 homeless children. And in Miami-Dade County, it's over 5,000 homeless children in the school system alone. The greatest need is underwear. We take underwear for granted. I mean, you are wearing underwear, right? I should hope.
I will not confirm nor deny.
So we get the name, the age, the underwear size, the clothing size, and shoe size of all the children from newborns through age 19. And we pack everything within that bag for them. And it's a day for them to just forget their plight for even just a little bit. Today we have provided for over 14,000 homeless children.
So would you say it's fair to say that Kiwanis cares about children's underwear?
Yes, Kiwanis cares about children's underwear.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm feeling incredibly short right now, standing next to Mr. Leo Gilling. So being a representative of the diaspora here in America, what we want to know, and I think a lot of us out there want to know, is how are your efforts going to get Bounty Killer back his visa?
Interesting question, my friend, but I don't know.
How to find the most flattering colors for your skin tone. Looking at Caribbean people is like admiring a gorgeous tropical rainbow. In fact, we're so varied in color that it can be hard to figure out which colors look best on us. Here are some tips that make it a little easier. There are 3 skin tone categories: cool, warm, and neutral. If you're unsure of which you fall into, I found an easy little trick that you can use. Do the jewelry test. The jewelry test? Yes, the jewelry test. It's simple. If you look more radiant and stand out more in gold jewelry, then you're most likely a warm tone. People with yellow, orange, or goldish undertones are considered warm. If silver is the color that makes you pop, then you're most likely a cool tone. People with pinkish, reddish, or bluish undertones are considered cool. Now, if either of those jewelry choices make you look amazing, well then you, my friend, are a neutral tone. And don't be fooled. No undertone is specific to any skin color, Both dark and fair-skinned people can be warm or cool-toned. Colors that work best on cool tones, think of icy wintry colors. Greens, blues, purples, and pinks really make you look great. Colors that work best on warm tones, think of more tropical colors. Go for corals, orange, yellows, and bright greens. And for the colors that work best on neutrals, lucky you, all of the above.
When we come back, Cooking Caribbean with Chef Irie.
When you're looking for authentic Caribbean flavor, the place to go is Donna's Caribbean Restaurant. The food is good and the service is great. Take out, dine in, or catch us on the go. Try our all-you-can-eat buffet every Saturday and Sunday in Lauderhill and Pembroke Pines. And with 6 locations to serve you, there's a Donna's near you. Visit donnascaribbean.com or call 1-877-55-DONNA.
I'm Grandma Cherry, and welcome to Donna's Restaurant.
Victoria Mutual Building Society, building your financial independence in Jamaica. For information, call 305-770-2622.
Hi, I'm Chef Irie and welcome to the kitchen. And today we're going to be doing another simple recipe. And today we're featuring Ackee, which is Jamaica's national dish. Well, it's not a national dish unless you have some saltfish added to that. So we're doing ackee and saltfish, and we're going to be adding something a little bit unique, a crepe. So ackee and saltfish with crepes. So we're going to start this batter. We're going to add our Grace Classic coconut milk to the batter. Whisk, add our eggs, some melted butter, just a little water. We're going to add to this a little salt. We're going to season it up a bit, herbs, spices. We just added thyme, chopped thyme, and a little Scotch bonnet, chopped up very finely. And over here, ground coriander, chop up really quickly, some green onions or scallion, just to add to that savory note to the crepe. Add a little cilantro to that. So our crepe batter is resting, and now we're gonna make the ackee and saltfish. And we're just gonna go right into it, no time to waste. Add a little olive oil right here, onion, some garlic, saltfish, and this is already cooked saltfish. We added some tomatoes, a little more onions, some scallion to this. We're gonna add some chopped thyme, ground coriander, Scotch bonnet, and of course, Grace makes life easy with their canned ackee. And we're gonna add a little cilantro and a little more green onion. The saltfish, I already cooked it, and the ackee is already cooked. So basically what you're doing is getting both of them up to temp, make sure all the flavors taste, come together, and make sure it's nice and hot. And then you just take it off the heat. All right, so the ackee and saltfish has been made, and we have our batter here, and we're just gonna give it a quick stir, a little melted butter, swirl that around the pan. So what you wanna do, get a ladle, and you wanna go right in the middle of the pan, and then you just wanna swirl it around, and we wanna let this sit for a little bit. Run a spatula right under the crepe, and just flip it just like that. Should take you about maybe 2 minutes to make the crepe. So that is our ackee and saltfish with coconut crepes. Looks nice, and I'm ready to eat. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry right now. So come back next time, and we will definitely make another simple dish. So until then, come back to the kitchen with Chef Irie. Later.
Today's entrepreneur knows the success of a small business greatly hinges on the role technology plays in aspects from marketing to customer service. Jeff Johnson believes that the sooner technology is introduced to future business owners, the better. In 2014, the former Tom Joyner morning show commentator hosted #HackToTheFuture as part of the South Florida Youth Summit. Students participated in tech shops, creating smartphone apps, developing websites, and creating a business plan for a tech startup company. The event is one of many facilitated by Code Fever, a Miami-based company that introduces coding to young African Americans. To learn more about the South Florida Youth Summit or Code Fever, visit the South Florida Times website, sfltimes.com.
Caribbean food in South Florida. If you want your belly full of spicy and flavorful Caribbean favorites, there are lots to choose from in the South Florida community. For Jamaican food, try some delicious jerk chicken, curry goat, or oxtail at Barbican Square Restaurant in Miramar. The same items seem to be the favorites at Aunt I's 2 locations in Pines and Lauderhill. At Donna's 5 South Florida locations, we hear you should try the curry chicken, brown stew chicken, and jerk pork. For your fish and seafood, try Carl's Seafood, and for your patties, where else but Golden Crust Bakeries with several locations around South Florida. For Haitian food, the very popular Chef Creole with about 5 locations around South Florida is known for their fried, steamed, and Creole shrimp, conch salad, griot, and sauces. Tap Tap only has 1 location, but visitors rave about their mojitos and their shrimp in coconut sauce. For Trini food, it's all about the roti. Try Joy's in Lauderhill, Naz Roti Palace in Miramar, and for the Guyanese version, try Sheik's Bakery and Roti in Pembroke Pines. If you're feeling like a Bahama mama, you might go for the cracked conch and guava duff at Lynn's, the conch salad at Conch Heaven, and the boiled fish and grits at the Bahamian Connection. Coming up, with the help of some of the business leaders of our community, we'll take a look at making it as a Caribbean entrepreneur. Then, an opinion piece on the untamed monster that is our diaspora in the Diaspora Perspective. Let's say you're from the Caribbean and you've moved to France or China or some other place far, far away. But you want to watch TV from your own country in your new living room. Well, now you can. Visit caribcast.tv or download the Caribcast app on your Roku or mobile device. It's that easy. Live Caribbean TV anywhere in the world. Visit caribcast.tv to learn more and make sure to tell a friend. SFL and SouthFloridaCaribbean.com, the online magazine and directory promoting South Florida's Caribbean businesses. Lip gloss? Check. Suit jacket? Check. Pearls? Check. Now I'm ready to start my own business. Except, I don't know how to start a business, especially in this big, scary country called the USA. So I reached out to 4 Caribbean entrepreneurial superstars to help me out. Felicia Hatcher was under 30 when she was honored by the White House for her accomplishments in business. Marie Gill is the president of the Jamaica USA Chamber of Commerce and an advisor to minority businesses. Edwin Cho is the CEO of Spices USA and former head of the Barbadian Chamber. Rafiq Mohammed is the president of the Trinidad USA Chamber. Let's start at the beginning. Do all of us Caribbeans have an entrepreneurial spirit?
I think in the Caribbean, entrepreneurship is born out of necessity. I drive down, the neighborhood where my grandmother lives, and about 5 people have turned the front of their homes into like bars or salons. But we have to change the narrative because those are entrepreneurs. They're taking nothing and they're trying to solve a problem, and then they make a profit in the process.
In Trinidad, you find a lot of business started by somebody having an idea, and they started it out of their homes.
The Barbadians in Barbados stick to a 9-to-5 job. But I find that as far as the Barbadian diaspora is concerned, they go out, they get themselves educated along the professional area that they choose to get involved in before getting involved in starting a business.
People call me all the time, boy, Miss Gill, I want to start a thing, I say, that's wonderful. Yeah, I can help you start your thing, but you really have to follow the rules, that things are a lot more structured.
Seems like Jamaica and Trinidad have a similarly relaxed approach to building one's own money-making thing. Bajans seem to be a lot better with structure. But how do we all feel about the bureaucracy that comes along with living in the U.S.?
All the rules and regulations and bureaucratic this and that is obstacles, not that they can't be overcome.
Here we have more laws, but here we also have more assets. They like to see businesses coming and opening.
The Department of Commerce was smart enough to recognize that the minority population of the United States is growing tremendously. The term minority here means access. It doesn't mean inferior. If the contract is $100,000, 25% of that should go to minority business. But if you're not a certified minority business, you cannot bid on that particular contract.
Got it. So the U.S. has a bunch of rules and regulations when it comes to doing business, but they also have a bunch of agencies to help you navigate them and use them to your advantage. So if there are all these agencies to help me out, what are your chambers of commerce good for?
What we have started this chamber for is to try to develop our businesses here by trading with each other, number one. To try to get the different resources in place, resources in terms of finance, in terms of grants, in terms of knowing what paperwork needs to be done.
If someone wants to come to the US and they want to have an extension of their business back home, how do you go about doing that? You contact us, you ask questions, and we can help you do that.
So you can basically offer me some guidance on how to get started and keep going with the added benefit that you kind of sound like me. Great! What's next? Who should I do some business with?
We need to focus on building more vertically integrated communities where all the resources that we need to actually grow our businesses we can actually get in our community. We don't necessarily have to go outside. That's how the dollar continues to circulate. We have over $1 trillion buying power, but the money doesn't stay in our communities.
If we could get together more often and unite and share our resources with each other, all our businesses will grow.
The majority of the Barbadian businesses here in South Florida do business outside of the diaspora.
Just because you're Caribbean or you're African American or however that doesn't necessarily mean that your product is always for your community. Like the world essentially could be your customer base.
Okay, some people do better business within their community and others do better outside their community. I guess there really is no one way to success, but the one thing I do know is if I have passion, I must succeed.
You hear people say, just follow your passion and you'll never work like a day in your life, or follow your passion and the money will come. And I'm like, that's crap, right? Because following your passion is very hard work. Closing off the voices in your head that are saying, you're never going to make it, you don't deserve to be here, you're not good enough.
Oh boy. If my passion alone can't drive me, then what else do I need?
Dig as deep down as you can to find a very specific niche. That's where you're going to have the unique selling proposition, right? Because then there's a pocket of people that are directly your customers. You don't have to spend a lot of money to reach out to them because this is something that is essentially aligned with their lifestyle.
I see. Target as precisely as possible so I don't waste money marketing to the wrong set of people. Okay, get help and advice from government and business groups, have enough passion to stay focused throughout the rough times, and find a specific target to be my customer base. Is that all? What are you guys forgetting to tell me about?
You need to surround yourself with people with skills that you don't have, because you need to have somebody who understands marketing. You need to have somebody who knows and understands the product. You need to have someone who understands how to run a business administratively.
That sounds like a lot of staff to hire. I don't have that kind of money.
So it's all about just getting the ingredients together and understanding like, all right, I need to get creative with the limited resources that I have. Look at your situation, look at your city, look at what's lacking. How can I create something on a much smaller scale that still has impact?
Are you saying I can start a business without a ton of money? Everybody says if I don't have 3 years worth of savings and 5 years worth of operating expenses, I shouldn't even start.
You do your research before getting involved in anything that you have to lay out finances or money, because if you don't, you stand a chance of failing.
In our communities, we really need to redefine success and failure, because a lot of our girls have had a small amount of failure and they don't know how to pick themselves back up and get over that hump. And when they do, they are completely unstoppable.
I'm afraid to fail, but I don't want to be an employee all my life. Can't you people give me a straight answer? Should I start my own business or not?
You don't always have to be a business owner.
Everybody's not cut out to be.
Everybody's not cut out to be, yeah, because sometimes, and depending on the kind of business, you really have to be so devoted and dedicated that, you know, it just tends to consume you.
We work, and we definitely work hard. But if we're talking about really moving our communities forward and really actually building generational wealth, that hardly ever happens from working for someone else.
To watch extended interviews or to learn more about how these individuals can help you, visit thecaribbeandiaspora.tv. When we return, in the Diaspora Perspective, the Diaspora Monster. Thoughts on the untamed power that is the Jamaican diaspora. There's nothing that reminds us more of home than the tantalizing tastes, the warm, inviting aromas of Jamaican food. From Ackee and Saltfish to homemade jerk chicken. Have it all at your fingertips with the Jamaican Recipes app. 110 authentic Jamaican recipes to bring a little taste of home into your home. Search Jamaican Recipes to download the Jamaican Recipes app for iPhone or Android. The Jamaican Recipes app, a taste of home at your fingertips. Toward the end of 2013, Tess and Chin's competing on The Voice galvanized the diaspora in a way that not only brought about a surge of patriotic pride in all of us, but also started a conversation about the power in our numbers. A power that is legendary, but almost seemingly mythical. Some people might take offense, but I call my diaspora, meaning the 3 million of us who live outside of our homeland, I call it the diaspora monster, not because it is an evil thing, but because it is so big and so strong and so untamed. So how do we harness its power? This diaspora that has so much wealth and so much influence and came out in so many numbers to that 2013 conference back home, we saw the pictures that seemed to present a united front in the coverage of that event. All the high-profile diaspora members. But afterwards, individuals went back to their lives in London and Toronto and New York and South Florida. And then the diaspora as a united, uniform thing again becomes a concept. Here are a few suggestions on what we might look at to address our diaspora issues. Number 1, stop thinking of the diaspora as a single entity. I joked with a colleague the other evening about people saying the diaspora doesn't invest and send money back home, as if the diaspora could put on her jeans and her shoes and pop over to the local drugstore with a $3,000 remittance. We talk about the diaspora like we talk about Santa Claus. The diaspora is a single, accessible being that takes care of the needs of everyone in our country if only we just believe. Far more realistic are some steps that one Mr. Murphy suggested to someone asking about how they could seek help from the diaspora. He says, start with the Jamaican Consulate General Office in the region you're targeting. They can provide you with info on Jamaican organizations, businesses, media, etc. If you're looking for publicity, through the Caribbean or Jamaican media, seek them out directly and contact the editor. Network with Jamaicans at local events in the region if you can. The person who received this answer received it well, but my guess is that others would respond, well, that sounds like work. But they just want a little money. In my opinion, Mr. Murphy's answer was even more valuable. Number 2, get with the times. We need to vastly improve the appearance and quality of our engagement. Make it appetizing. Number 3, consolidate. The point was raised that instead of people seeking out existing organizations to offer their help to, everyone wants to start their own. Then, like every other project in life that requires heavy lifting, they get tired, fall by the wayside, and then claim no one else wanted to help. Call your local consulate. They might not answer you the first 3 or 7 times, but eventually they'll get you to somebody who knows somebody, and bam! You found a networking and charity group 87 members strong who you would have never known existed because their marketing is only done word of mouth. But their accomplishments are worthy of the songs of seraphim. Number 4, become more inclusive. Every mickle make a muckle. Translation, every small contribution collectively adds up to something worthwhile. This is where we begin the conversation about whether the diaspora only includes the wealthy and the business class. The answer is no. Let's find a way to let the people who have time and skills to offer, rather than money, feel like they too can make a worthy contribution to nation building back home. Even if a man or woman doesn't have the money to outfit a basic school with books and equipment, I promise you his or her church brothers and sisters do. The people who go back home to vacation, the people who pay school fees for nieces and nephews, they need to know that their contributions are appreciated, and maybe they'll make more of an effort to find other ways to contribute. But we make people feel like a few dollars or a few hours or a few books don't make a difference. I'm not sure how we can get to the point where we have true trust and engagement and genuine respect for the causes we're trying to champion. But I believe if anyone can figure out the answer to even one of these questions, then maybe, just maybe, we'll have a chance at taming this diaspora monster that we've created. Next time on our show, 4 high-profile entertainers on the perceived hijacking of our music, a mouth-watering jerk shrimp recipe, and a conversation about the crab-in-a-barrel syndrome that only helps to hold us back. As always, we want to hear your feedback. Find us online at thecaribbeandiaspora.tv and using the hashtag #IamCaribbean. Thanks for watching. I'm Caleb Thompson, and we'll see you next time on the Caribbean Diaspora Weekly, South Florida edition. The Caribbean Diaspora Weekly South Florida edition is presented by Caribcast, live Caribbean TV anywhere, and by Jamaicans.com.